Hi, welcome back to Living to the Fullest. Today I'm going to video record I guess a sort of a part two to my herb planting. And I'm going to start with showing you how I put together my balcony hanging planters that are going to kind of hang over the rail of my front balcony, the porch area. And I'm going to put flowers in these beds, but later on in the video I'm going to show you how I start some herbs from seed, and different kinds of trays that you can buy, and we'll plant about 5 different herbs. But I want to show you how these are put together. I kind of assemble them on the floor. I like to put all the different tiny little screws in little bins as I'm assembling all these things together, and they're fairly simple to assemble. You just want to make the size match your rail, so you have to kind of go outside and kind of measure it, and then you just tighten the screws, 2 screws at the top, then those kind of hooks attached to the base of that planter, and then you have a really long lining. I believe these are 36 inches long, and so I can probably plant 2 small flowers in there, and then maybe 1 center one, a bigger one. So I am kind of looking at the different options. You have a method where you can just use zippy ties, or you can use the metal hook and also zippy ties for extra support. And there's also this little kind of attachment, and that will make sure that your flower beds aren't hitting the wooden part of your porch, that they kind of hang evenly, because they are kind of at an angle and they could droop. So I will attach all of those. And yeah, the weather this week has been very stormy, so it's very windy, very rainy outside. So I'm just preparing a lot of my planting for to finish basically all the plants out on my front porch and also on the back porch. I'm just taking advantage of this sort of cloudy day to just do as much as I can indoors. So I'm preparing these. I finished them, and I'm going to then line them with the liners and probably moisten the liners so they kind of obtain that shape. They kind of came flat in the box, so they have to fit into the shape of those rails. So now switching over to our herbs, I wanted to talk a little bit about different plants I'm going to plant, also in the backyard, and also on those balcony planters. To the balcony planters, I'm going to add ranunculus plants from basically a tiny little bulb. I think those will look well because I already have planters that have ranunculus in them, if you saw my first video of the planting season of this year. And I think I'll put them in the center. And then this packet of just your green and those dark red plants, I'm going to start them from seed because those look really nice in the summer and all the way into fall. So I may even plant them twice, or start them from seed twice. Now in the backyard, we just have grass there. We have no plants and no trees whatsoever. So I wanted to bring a little life to the backyard. I'm going to plant some peonies and that like a white flowery shrub. And on the other side, the side where I'm going to have majority of my herbs and food, if I grow any food, any vegetables, I'm going to plant some sunflowers. They always make me happy. And sunflower is typically the flower of Ukraine, so it's definitely nostalgic for me. I already started dill in this tray right here. You can see one tiny little dill seed already showing up, little tiny little green vine right there. So I bought this tray at Lowe's. It was about $5. And once you water it and you add your seeds, you just want to keep it kind of moistened every day. And I keep this one on my windowsill with it covered. So that holds about 12 pellets or little pieces of earth, so 12 spots. So I went to Walmart and bought a bigger one, and this one holds 25, so 5 rows of 5. This is a little bigger, and that will not fit on my windowsill, but I'm just gonna find a spot for it and put it under a lamp. So this is what they look like when you open them. That clear lid kind of serves as that greenhouse and has that greenhouse effect when you have it indoors. And you moisten it on the inside, and also keep some kind of either in a sunny spot or with a warming lamp over it, to create that greenhouse effect. It came with a little bit of a vitamin powder, and you're supposed to dilute it in water, and so we'll do that at the very end. But I also use different fertilizer as well for by herbs. It also came with these sticks, label sticks, and I think I'm just gonna stick one per row. We'll do 5 different types of seeds in here, and just label them. You could also just use, any kind of sticker, or even a post-it note, just as long as you tape it well so it doesn't fall off. So let's start with preparing this tray. And cut open that vitamin packet. That did not come in the other packet that I bought. And we're going to start with these green plants, and I'm going to shake them out into a tiny little bowl. And these are called coleus. They come in different colors. I had bought them already grown last year in some pre-made planters, and they look really pretty. And their color, like I said, that can transfer from summer planter with summer bright flowers into fall with the orange and the dark purples and the dark reds of fall. So all you need to do for this palette, that had some instructions on there, it just said add enough water to cover them, leave for 5 to 10 minutes until the water starts to get absorbed, and basically they'll just expand, and they should be about 2 inches in height once you add enough water to them. So while that's sitting there, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of these other herbs. I think I'm gonna then plant some parsley, and I'm picking herbs that I'm gonna eat. I've planted mint before, I've planted lavender before, but I don't really use it. So instead of it just looking pretty, I'm trying to be a little bit more pragmatic and actually plant things I'll eat and cook with, or give to people. Just kind of your generally popular or the more usual herbs. So that'll be parsley, chives. I like chives in a lot of Thai food recipes, Vietnamese food recipes, and I'm gonna skip thyme because I already planted one that was already ready, and then I'm gonna do cilantro as my 4th row, and basil as the 5th and last row. Basil plants do need a lot of space, so as soon as these start to sprout, I'm gonna put them in a larger planter. The other ones you can probably put 2 to 3 in a small pot that can either fit on your windowsill or just kind of in a little corner of your porch. You just want them to be in a spot that'll give it good sunlight. So this is the pot I have. So for example, I could put 2 or 3 of parsley seeds once they start to sprout into each planter, and I have a lot more in the in my garage, different sizes, but they kind of all look together. I have like these dark red ones, some orange ones, and some black ones. So they kind of all go together, and I actually have a shelf out on my back porch where I can put those potted plants. So these are starting to expand a little bit, and I'm going to add some water to them as we go. You could also buy the cells that don't have the soil in there and add the soil yourself. I tried this one because it just seemed a lot quicker. The soil's already there. It comes with that nutrition / vitamin packet. And to me, this seemed a little less messy because you're not trying to pull them out of those cells. They kind of have a kind of like a netting over them. And once you put them in a pot, then it will just dissolve into the soil. I'm picking them up to bring them a little bit closer to camera so that you can see up close kind of what they're starting to look like. Some of the soil starts to float around, but for the most part, that netting keeps it all compact. You just have to kind of be gentle with it, leave it on a flat surface, and don't move it around too much until it expands. So this is what they look like when they expand. It's, like I said, about 2 inches in height, and you can keep spritzing them with water just to keep the soil moist. And the seeds for the coleus plant are super tiny. So I got some tweezers out to use tweezers. Here's them up close. They're super tiny. I don't think I can even grab them with my hand. And so the instructions say to grab 2 to 3. So you can either use like medical pincers or tweezers, or you can use just regular tweezers. Whatever works for you, or try to scoop them up maybe with this tiny little spoon. But those were really super tiny. So I think I might have grabbed 5 to 6. It didn't really matter to me. This is my first attempt at doing it this way in these cells. So, it's an experiment. I also bought some sunflower seeds. These are for planting. They were 50 cents a packet. And what I like to do, and this is what my grandmother did when she planted sunflower seeds, is you start them off in water and let them just float in the water until you start to see a green tail. When you see the green tail, then you can put them in the soil. So I'm just going to leave them on my counter in about 1 inch of water until I start to see them sprout in the water. Same idea goes for like green onion or even a yellow onion. If you put it in the water with the roots down, after about a week or two, they'll start to grow both roots and sprouts. So I wouldn't buy the sunflower seeds that you would eat because those are already salted, cooked, fried. I think those seeds are pretty much dead. You want to use the ones that have not been roasted for planting. The next step here is just take some kind of stick or even a toothpick and or the back of a fork and just kind of create tiny little holes in the center because you want to plant these about 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch down into the soil. So I'm just using the back of a bamboo stick for, shish kebabs. That little cell was upside down, so I corrected it. Also, if you didn't have this pre-made tray, you could even do it in something as simple as tiny little plastic cups, or take your regular red Solo cup, cut it in half, cut the top off, just create tiny little trays, and then put them on, I don't know, on a baking sheet or whatever. You don't need to have fancy equipment to get this project started, and then fill them up with soil, fertilizer, and then do the same process. I'm just reading through what that says. It says dissolve it in water, so we'll do that. And here I am grabbing my tiny little seeds and trying to very carefully get them down into each cell without losing any. So I'm going to speed this up for you guys so you can watch at a quicker pace. So this is the completed tray. As you saw, as I was adding the seeds, I was then going back and covering them all up with that same stick. And I also stopped using the tweezers. I think my fingers worked a little better because those were just such tiny little seeds. So over here, I'm pouring that vitamin mixture over the plants, and all you need to do after that is just cover them, put them in a sunny spot or under a lamp, and keep them moist. So again, spritz them, maybe just about 2 tablespoons of water per day, and after about 5 days, some of them should start to sprout, and you should see a little bit of greenery coming through. So this is the final tray. Here we have the coleus, the parsley, chives, cilantro, and basil. I'm excited to see how these will turn out. I have never planted anything from seed like this before. Usually I already buy pre-planted or pre-sprouted herbs. So this is very exciting. So stay tuned for part 3 and 4 to see how these grow. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.